This is the Amp Hour Podcast, released November 20th, 2024. Episode 683. Troubleshooting is the skill.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
What's up, nerd?
Despite my exhortations during our last episode about how no AI tools should be used for layout, I have been using them to help me write code. So I'm a little bit of a hypocrite, but nothing new there.
They're a very good tool. You've got to, even when I did it, probably a year and a half ago now, it practically wrote all my code. What
level of code was it doing for you? What was it helping with?
It was doing hardware abstraction as well as coding.
Oh.
So it was like I gave it a
microsupply?
physical description. Sorry?
Was this a microsupply or something else?
No, this was my BO.
Was this the bomb? BOM.
This was the bomb.
I got
BOM.
you. Yeah.
Yes. Timer. So I gave it a hardware description. Description of shift, because I needed to drive shift registers and 7-segment displays. So I gave it the description of the hardware, just the hardware, and it wrote the code, and there was only one error in it.
That's pretty cool.
It was I was absolutely blown away, and that was a year and a half ago or something.
Yeah, and this keeps getting better. Yep.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Yeah, that is one area that obviously, it's not like I'm like, oh, it's going to take my job. It's like no competition there.
No.
For me, it was, I've been doing some Zephyr stuff, and the thing I'm not sure about is Zephyr moves pretty fast, right? There's a lot of development on the project, and you don't really know if it's going to suggest something that's not correct anymore. That's the only thing I'm kind of, but the compiler tells you, so that it's just you might run into that sort of thing, but it helped me troubleshoot device tree stuff, which is an ongoing issue of how you connect stuff together. And that was a great use case of just hey, kind of structure, checking structure, that sort of thing has been very, very useful.
Right. So, I thought it was fantastic. For guys like me who don't code, I can code, but I do it so infrequently these days that I almost have to, oh God, how do I code again? It takes me a day to get back into it or something for, some dummy like me who, just doesn't do it a lot. And I would use it as a first step just to get some base code of something running, just so that I'm, actually I have something to work with. Rather than just write it from scratch. The old school days of starting from scratch are,
I think normally my MO would be go find samples, examples, whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But this is basically
and then you cobble that together, you cobble the sample together.
Exactly.
But this is this can get you, runs on the board, 90% there, something like that.
Yep.
So why not?
Yeah, I do
Sort
wonder
out the bugs later.
I've been reading about, I was asking, so I paid for Claude, the Anthropic product, because it's been really good for code stuff, and I've been using it for language learning too, for practicing Spanish, also good for that. Not as good as OpenAI, because it'll actually talk to you, but it's fine. Okay. And I was asking, I was just kind of curious. I was watching my kids, and I was asking about what you should do with teaching and stuff like that, and teaching children in an age of AI, and it said, "Don't worry about it. It's no problem. I'll take care of everything." Okay,
not creepy at all.
No, it didn't say that. But one thing that I've done a little bit of reading about was just troubleshooting. Troubleshooting generally is when you rely on a tool like this. I was relying on it as a troubleshooting tool in my case. Then when you actually get to something where whatever LLM or equivalent you're using doesn't have the answer, then if you're so dependent on that crutch that you don't have the skill set, exactly. Troubleshooting as a skill set was going to be kind of it's a level up from there. Maybe the baseline, everybody's going to use it to troubleshoot device tree, I'm talking about, but then it's also about synthesizing that information and being able to utilize stuff outside of that as well. And I don't know, just it's an interesting skill set that I think a lot of us have that are listening and hopefully speaking, but it probably will be even more critical, especially in kind of those corner case kind of areas where an LLM might just not touch on and really need to have some more useful skills there.
Hallucinates code.
Oh, sure.
That's,
Right.
Yeah. All right. But one thing I'm not worried about, like one thing I don't really lose my skill at is debugging code. Like it doesn't matter how long a break I've taken from coding. The problem's always like starting again, like writing from scratch. Oh God, how do I, do this and all that? Yeah, but if there's code in front of me, doesn't matter how long I've been out of the game, I can read that and start troubleshooting almost immediately.
Check your inbox. So, we're going to prove this live on the air. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, what? Okay.
No, that would be something, right? If I was ready for that.
Right, but it's not, you have to do it on
Check
video.
under your seat.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, that's so I got to fire that engine back up when I'm like not in troubleshooting mode. So you're saying you can just, you think you can just turn right back on no matter what?
I think for debugging code, yes. I think for debugging code, I think it's not really a problem. So that's why I'm quite confident in using, an AI type tool to generate some code to sort of get me off the ground. And then if it doesn't produce any output, I think I'm, quite skilled at being able to, at least passably skilled in actually being able to get it to actually, to sort of massage it into doing something, right? yeah, exactly.
Do something.
So, poke the meme with the stick.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, well, there's another skill set right there, too, is being able to deploy memes as necessary. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I'm a meme master.
Yeah, right. Take heed, kiddos.
You don't follow me on Twitter anymore. I don't. I'm just banging out memes like there's no tomorrow.
Oh, man. It's like things that you'll tell your grandkids about.
Exactly. I was a meme lord. I was a meme lord during the great meme wars of the 2020s. Wars,
yeah, right, of course. Yeah.
Yep, right up there with the corn syrup riots or whatever. What was it?
I don't actually know.
Ready Player One. I just watched Ready Player One last night. The bandwidth riots and the corn syrup droughts of.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I have blocked that movie from. It's been a while since I've read the book, but yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Like,
I know you hated the movie. And I thought about that last night. And I was just thinking. I was sitting there watching it late last night, and I thought, how can Chris not like this?
Because I read the book so many times. How many times have you read the book? At all or no?
Yeah, once.
Okay.
It
just was. Here's the thing, like, no one's listening to me. It's like friggin' Steven Spielberg directed that movie. Like, everyone's like, yeah, it's cool. Don't worry about it. I just personally, I didn't like it. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't like how they started it. I don't like how much they skipped. There was like so little on the backstory. The IOI stuff was so poorly done and like low budget looking. I don't know. It's just, yeah. You know what? My movie head, the head movie rather, was much better, and that's fine. Lower cost, lower budget, and only I get to see it. So,
and only you get to review it.
That's right. Right. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, like this is not like a new thing for me though, too. Like I really, I love the Expanse books. I think I've told you about James S.A. Corey, right? Like the 9-part series, and like just brilliant. And like Amazon made the show. It was very well regarded show. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I'm like, the casting is all wrong, and I just didn't like how they cast person and that person and whatever. And then you look at the credits, and like the two writers were in charge of the show. It's just like, oh, well,
I think we know where the problem is there then.
I think we do. Yeah, right. If we really narrow it down. Here's the thing though, Dave. I don't have a lot of opinions. I mean, I do have some opinions on this show, but like, usually I'm not like you. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
I don't have as many opinions as you, but these sort of things I do have opinions about, so I feel good about that.
And my opinions are always right, of course.
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
There you go. Yes, Grandpa, your meme is so great. You've still got it, Grandpa.
My boys do great memes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they're really into meme, like the entire meme culture thing. They're really into it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
the oldest one is anyway. The youngest one, not not as much, but he sort of follows along. And yep,
I can't even begin to imagine what it's like to be a teenager these days. And like, yeah, your son's obviously part of it, and it's just like, yeah. So you're experiencing it from a whole thing. Like I've got many years yet to discover that of like having a teenager.
Yep.
Yeah,
you're 10 years off. I'm afraid you're a decade
for a wild
off.
ride. I'm sure. Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho,
I had my I finally got the rat's nest updated. My house wiring has been completely my switchboard completely rewired.
Nice.
Okay. I just released a video this morning. You can see it.
Yeah, we'll link to that. Yep, sure.
Yep.
What did it take to get it done?
What did it take? A spare slot in the electrician's time. It took 6 months.
Really? Is he that good, or are they in that short of supply?
He's just so busy. He's so flat out. And this guy I like, and he agreed to do it on camera, which is the thing I really wanted, of course, right? I didn't just want to Neville nobody who just showed up and maybe they might mumble a few sentences, right? I actually knew this guy was good, and I knew he'd perform on camera, and I knew he wanted to be on camera.
So this was really a video shoot, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah.
Tax deductible, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely tax deductible. Everything's tax deductible in the YouTube world. Let me tell you.
It's known as content. It's content, Mr. Taxman.
Haircuts. I claim my haircuts.
Right. Oh well, there you go.
Yeah. Got to maintain my professional appearance.
Good luck with that. Yes.
Oh boy. Anyway, so yes, finally got it done.
Great.
And it looks way better. Interestingly, like a lot of people, especially overseas, of course, everyone in Australia totally understands what this is all about and where it comes from and everything. Mm-hmm. But everyone overseas going, well, what's improved? And I'm going, well, it's just basically a wiring tidy up. My old existing rat's nest, have you seen it? We could actually include the photo of the rat's nest.
We talked about it on the show when I think you were doing your battery install, I think.
Yes, the battery install, and we had to add yet another circuit to the.
That's right. Yep.
And it's been bodged like 8 or 9 times over the last 18 years or something.
I have to say, it does seem a little less formalized. I know it's like higher voltage, but like just even the fact that you're talking about wiring inside the circuit breaker box is very it's very it's all sheet metal here, right? It's just form metal with the contacts here, and it felt like it's more custom, kind of ad hoc, at least the stuff you described.
You're talking about the case, the outer.
No. I remember you opened up you looked at the back of the thing, and it was like wired. Yeah. It's like point-to-point wiring, right?
Yes, it is totally point-to-point wiring.
That doesn't happen here. I mean, as far as I understand it, I mean,
absolutely. That's just a thing here, where
right. That's what I'm saying. It's not bad. It's just ad hoc, and it's different than what I'm expecting.
Yeah, it's just ad hoc. It's actually perfectly legal, and you could actually still wire a box legally that way right now.
Okay.
There's no problems whatsoever.
Is that just yours, messy, or is that all of them in Australia? I guess that's what I'm trying to disambiguate.
That would be everyone from the 80s, maybe even the mid-90s backwards. Uh-huh. Yep, totally. After that, they tend to use a DIN,
like the stamp metal,
proper rail-in with DIN mounts, and
Got it.
Yep.
Oh, DIN mount. Okay, interesting. Yeah. So it is more like an industrial look than.
It's more of an industrial look, especially from the front. It's like Yep.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Again, like that's very different from what I'm used to, because here it's you have your all of your landings come in from the sides.
Bars. You guys have big bus bars.
That's
and
right.
Things clip in and stuff,
the dual phase thing, right? I mean, that's the weird. That's the weird thing here, but that does end up being like, because you're snapping your breakers directly onto those bars.
Yeah.
That's all you get. There's no like custom. There's no wire. Except the stuff that's landing. Right. There's no like interstitial wiring. It's just the stuff that gets to it.
It's totally different here. It's a DIN. Yeah. I'm not aware of that bus bar thing being a thing here in Australia at all.
Yeah,
anywhere.
It might not be rated for what you guys do, honestly.
Maybe, yeah. It may not be. It may be in an industrial situation would be totally different. But homes and things, no. No, I'm not aware of that here. So, all new modern houses use a DIN rail system with a plastic enclosure box and then surrounded by a metal enclosure. And this is outside the house. This is a lot of things the Yanks don't get. They're going, why is the box on the outside of the house? Mm-hmm. Well, that's just what we do here, because, like, it doesn't like snow here and stuff like that.
Because then you get more spiders. That's the good stuff.
Get more spiders
you really want to have
those fuse box. That's right.
The social media photos of your spiders just taking over your box.
That's it. Snakes and things getting in there.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the ticket. Yep.
Right. Australia.
Australia for the win. So we have a box on the outside of the house. A few modern houses might have them on the inside. If Simon, the electrician who did this, he said, he works on these big mansions and stuff, and some of them have like a tiny room actually devoted to just all the switch gear. If it's like a modern, like one of these like fully automated houses, has
like the third wire kind of thing for smart switches and stuff like that.
Yeah, and all that sort of wakery. Yes, they will have like a small room which has all the automation control equipment and also the fuse box and stuff like that. So if you're building a mansion from scratch, maybe you might have it inside, but just your general average, 4-bedroom suburban house or something is still going to have a box sitting on the outside of the wall. And with just a DIN rail thing on the inside. So
actually, mine is outside too. Yeah, that's true.
It is really okay.
The main panel is, and then I have a sub panel. In my my previous house, it was in the garage. I think that's actually a great blend, right? It's like
right,
kind of firewall, not really firewalled, right? If there's a fire.
Yeah, but it's kind of
But it's like the dirty panels out there. My Cleveland house is in the basement.
It means you don't have to. If there's a blown fuse, you don't have to go outside in the freezing winter snow to fix it.
I live in the south now, but yes, it's still cold.
Here it doesn't matter. Yeah. Makes no difference because.
I mean, it might be really really hot. There's that. So.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and so my current house, I have like my main panel's outside, and then I have a sub panel up in my laundry room that controls like all the lights because it's like second floor. So then like that then controls all the lights that are like in the ceiling and stuff like that on the first floor. So
Gotcha.
I've been having some weird stuff too, like where the inductive load of my dryer ends up like impacting the other sub circuit. I got to get it looked at. I don't know. What's going on there.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
That could be
a little frustrating.
Some sort of, I don't know, neutral. Yeah, but you guys are weird. You got the split phase thing, and it's all weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the lights that flicker when it happens. So, I said, I haven't been here that long, so I need to get someone looking at it. But
there's something wrong there.
Yeah, there is when you mentioned with like the fancy room too. I mean, there's like all the smart home thing. They have like you need like the Romex 3 or 4, whatever it is. Pulling the extra wire to power the switch even when it's off, sort of thing. I don't know if you guys do that. Probably don't have any smart stuff. I don't either. I don't have it here. But like when you look at,
I don't think it's particularly common here. Only in some fancy house, and they want to automate all their blinds and crap like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so like I'm sure I'm getting this wrong, but basically it's like you have a neutral that goes to your light switch, I think, because you need to basically have a way to power it even when it's even when the switch is off, right? So
right. Yes,
normally
we do
the
not
hot wire,
have a neutral go into the light switch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
that's like one of the and that just requires special wiring. And because I've been looking at smart switches for one of the things in my house, and it's not going to work. So instead, then it turns into like a wireless type of setup, and I'm not. I haven't set up my home assistant.
Any day.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, you still haven't set up Home Assistant.
I had it in my old house. I just haven't like unpacked the box still.
I just tried to set that up yesterday, and at the moment I'm staring at a boot screen right now, and it's got like a login thing. So it boots up on the Raspberry Pi 4, and it just sits at a login, flashing a cursor at me, and it says, "Well, go to your internet address." I plugged in the Ethernet and go to this address, and it's not there. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't figured it out yet. And then I mentioned that I was doing this, and then everyone told me, use Home Assistant. They're badgering me left, right, and center. I start using Home Assistant, then they go, "Oh, you don't run it on a Raspberry Pi, you idiot. You got to run it on a NUC." One of these Intel NUC things, and it's like,
I ran it on a Raspberry Pi. It's fine, honestly. A Pi 3 or 4. What size of Pi? What generation?
It's a Raspberry Pi 4 compute module. And then I've got like a little daughter board
that's
thing.
No problem at all.
Right.
Yeah. I think the thing is, a lot of those people are saying that because if you run ESP Home on there, right? So we had Keith Brzezinski on the show. I'll link that in. He works for whatever the people that are the main company behind ESP Home. Mm-hmm. I think he was the one that told me this, but basically it like crunches all the code on that device then, right? So then if you want to, say you want to reconfigure one of your devices, you're basically compiling now on a Pi 4.
Oh, God,
right?
okay.
So I think that's really the thing that ends up bogging down. I mean, if you're just sending like a couple sensor readings through, it's like no big deal.
That's all I'm doing. I'm just like want to combine solar readings, and that's basically it.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine. I just don't overthink it. You know, that's the big.
I was trying not to, and then everyone starts badgering me again.
I think you got to not talk to people about it. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem here is people, Dave. You know?
I know, bloody humans.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a stupid opinion, which is wrong.
When I had it,
it's only my opinion that's right. Obviously.
Well, you should get an AI to tell you as much.
Right. I'll train my own personal AI on myself, so it's always right.
There you go. Right. You still sound just like Dave's supposed to sound.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The thing that I really liked is the Zigbee bridge. Zigbee bridge.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, that was like a big unlock for me because it's basically like once you have that in there, it just kind of starts sucking in different Zigbee readings, and it was super easy to set up after that. So you're gonna be fine. Yeah, it's
okay. I don't really want to control anything. Like I've just got a home heat recovery and ventilation system. I've done a second channel video on that. Yeah. That finally got installed. Cool. And technically that's got like a Modbus thing, so I could hook it up. You know, and there is somebody who's integrated it with Home Assistant, but it's like, why? Yeah. You know, like, nah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we joked about it on the show, like the thing that was easiest to do and the most worthless thing out there was my stupid Bluetooth toothbrush, right? I mean, like,
Jesus, you're doing it wrong, dude.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The only thing that I've got at the moment, which I guess it would be nice to automate, is the pool heat pump. Because at the moment I've got it set to a timer, right? Because we're almost in summer here. So I've basically set it via a timer to come on to use excess solar power.
Oh,
but in the last couple of days, including today, it's really overcast. So there's no excess solar at all. So I don't want to pull that energy from my battery. My battery actually died the other day because I didn't have enough left.
Well, heaters are just
and heat pump, well, it uses 2.5 kilowatts. So, you know. It's it's a reasonable amount. You can certainly put it on for a couple of hours, but you don't want to leave it on for 8 hours or something like that. It'll completely drain my home storage battery now. So I'd kind of like that to correlate with like the weather, and you know if it's sunny out, then yes, turn it on to use excess energy and stuff like that. And I want to do the same thing with the air cons as well. I failed the other night. I tried to actually program my aircon with like a timer, so it comes on every single day at 3:00 or something. So it uses excess solar power, and then it.
Oh sure, yeah.
You know, and I woke up this morning and it didn't work. So the timer didn't work. So I screwed something up.
Yeah.
Bloody hell! User interfaces are just terrible on those little
Dave's
remote control
HVAC
things.
is still blinking 12. It's blinking midnight.
Is that right?
You know?
No, I managed to set the time correctly. Damn it. And but
just
the
think
bloody
though, Dave,
timer
in terms of memes, kids won't get that one, you know? They'll just...
Right. The blinking 12,
Yeah, right.
All right.
Or is it 24 there?
My kids would understand. No.
Yeah,
no.
Okay.
12, they...
Do devices still do that even? I don't even know. Like for me, it was always a VHS player. That was the thing, the VCR.
Microwave ovens do it.
They blink 12 though? Like the thing where people don't even like bother to program. I feel like it was always the VCR. No? Okay.
Ovens. Yep. Ovens.
See, around here, mine just doesn't show anything.
Ovens.
If it like you get a power reset, it just shows nothing.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. No, ours blinks and flashes 12. Yep.
Yeah. On the topic of Home Assistant, I was just watching Andrea, the past guest of the show, Andrea Spies. He was just doing a video about Bluetooth devices and like interfaces, and then setting up relays too, because there's a new-ish capability to do like a relay. So say you had like a Bluetooth device in one part of your home, but then you had like a ESP32 set up as a relay, it could then bounce that to your Home Assistant server, basically, which is kind of cool.
Right.
So check that out if people are interested. I'm not. Cool, this is not going to turn into a smart home show because we don't know enough.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Former guest of the show, Ian Scott Johnson. I think it's Ian Scott Johnson. He wrote his own instead of using Home Assistant. He wrote his own. He wrote his own automation system from scratch. And he says, I've been working on this for 2 years or something. And it's like, I really don't want to throw it out because I spent so long working on it, although I could just do it all in Home Assistant, And he's like, it's a really crazy, like gooey interface. It's got checkboxes everywhere, like, 50 different like things that he can tie together. And it's really impressive, like thoroughly impressive stuff. Sure. It's like, but...
Yeah, I think this might be falling into sunk cost fallacy on that one,
Yeah, right, yes.
Because then, like, every time you have anything new, say there's like a new sensor you want to use, it's like, well, you have to implement it. And then, like, you don't get any of the benefits of an ecosystem. So
that's right.
Yeah, there's some reasons to do it, though, too. Personal edification.
It's cool.
Yep. That sort of thing.
Absolutely. And it's very impressive. And you can tweak it until the cows come home,
Yeah.
So I think he's got it tied into the weather service. So he's got his own special algorithm that, predicts the weather and then, does all this stuff and, really, really quite impressive.
Yeah, I do API stuff for day job stuff. I don't think I want to do it at night. That's the thing. Like, I want like a tool that just is like, I know what everything's going on in your house, and here it is. But some people love that stuff,
Yeah. Well, then, as somebody who was like on Twitter the other day was telling me about my home battery and how I can automate it with some of the new, because I've got a new smart meter. I think we talked about this. I can integrate it with the new smart plans. And then he said, he's telling me all this great stuff I can do with it. Right, with my new smart meter and my new battery and how I can integrate them all and wah. And then he said, by the way, it took me 2 years of tweaking and it's still only does 95% of what I want. It's like, oh God, okay, thanks, but nah.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
not going down that route. So.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. A lot of these kind of like setups too. It's like. I always like lament like, my in-laws use all Apple products, and it's like so. I'm like, you're like stuck in that system. It's like, but it works for them because they don't want to do any of it.
Exactly.
So like that is worth it for them to buy if they're gonna have anything, they just buy it, and it's like, okay, fine, I get it.
Yeah. In fact, I would never get a time cost payback on any of this automation stuff, right? Because like, take my pool heat pump for example, right? If it's an overcast day, I can simply press a button and turn it off.
That's right, yeah.
And even if I have to do that 50 days a year, that is still only like an hour's work, not even, right? Yeah. It's like 10 minutes work, not even.
But Dave, what if you aren't home in time to press the switch?
Right, well, at the moment, I can't do it remotely. So just the other day, I called up the Mrs. EEV blog and I said, it's overcast today. Can you switch the... Leave up off, please. Our battery's getting low, because I can see remotely my battery, and I can see, the power consumption. I can see whether or not the pool pump's on and stuff. I just can't control it remotely at the moment. Wow. So
you just need that digital finger. That is one thing that I had in Home Assistant is like there's actually like a button. There's just a thing that'll press buttons for you. So that's all you got to do.
I need to investigate that. If I can do it on my shoe phone, or I can do it from my browser or something like that, then great. That's just easy. Then there's no point to automate it, really. It's just because then you'd have to continually tweak it. Because what if one day the batteries, you'd have to tweak the algorithms. Okay, what if the battery's actually already full? Because the day before was good or whatever.
Corner case,
it's
right.
Corner case. You'd always be hitting these corner cases,
Yeah, totally.
And it's like just continually tweaking it.
I think like in a Home Assistant setup, my most likely thing was I was like logging in and toggling a button myself. That was like the way I used it.
Oh, right. That was your automation. That was human automation.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what I wanted to like see the status of things and be able to control things, like you said, like command and control.
Well, that's exactly what I'm doing at the moment. I've got all the tools to monitor everything, and I simply go in and I can hit some buttons.
Yeah. So I think you'll change. I think you'll be in a good space there. The only thing I would say in that case is it sounds like you want to be able to do this stuff remotely. So you're either going to have to VPN into your own system, like using like a
yes.
What's it called?
Well, as I said, the only thing I can't do remotely at the moment is the hot water heat pump.
Got it. Yeah.
So yep.
But if you also
that's
pay
really the only load I want to control. But maybe the air cons as well.
Got it.
Maybe those, but trying to control the air cons, I'd need an infrared transmitter that transmitted the bloody code. And
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I can actually tell if my air cons are on based on the power consumption. So I can sit here at my desktop at work and I can remote view my actual power consumption to see. Well, like I can see that currently I've got it open now, and I can see that the pool. The hot water heat pump is just switched off. So yeah, I can.
Ladies and gentlemen, do that November 12th, 2024, Dave local time. Today is the day that Dave accepted IoT as his Lord and Savior.
No, it's not an Internet of Things.
Sure sounds like it. Hey, you know what?
Nope.
I'm a little bit more of an expert in this field than you are, my friend.
I don't care.
I'm looking at data. I want to control the data. I'm like, Dave, I'm sorry, man. You've got the sickness. It's been confirmed.
You do realize I've had this capability for a decade, right?
Well, there you go. You know what? Even worse.
Oh boy. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it'll be interesting to see your experiments. I would say, people have very, very strong opinions about how you should be doing things, like especially like home. It's almost like a bike shed type thing where it's like, it's kind of available to everyone. So there's a lot of opinions about how you should do it. It's like, I wouldn't listen to it. Yeah. Just try it out.
No, for me, I'm not into over automation. It's just, the amount of effort you put into it. Even if, because I actually like controlling, I actually like having a switch I can turn off and on under my own human algorithmic control.
And meat controller.
It's great. Yeah. Yep. Meat controller. That's it. Yep. So.
Well, best of luck, my friend. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ah, boy. Anyway, can we get back to electronics maybe?
There is electronics in the IoT. I'm just saying,
Oh, right. Yeah, well, talked about that to death. I do like this video that you posted. Who's the YouTube channel?
Which one?
Oh, hang on.
Oh, the linear power one?
Yes.
Yeah. This was actually a new channel that I just discovered through Timon, Scrooge. And it's like this really great explainer series. He does other ones around, what was the other one I watched? It was around, how MOSFETs work. It was great. It's just like he uses circuit boards and he puts this stuff together. So yeah, maybe we'll have to, see if we can get him on the show or something. So the channel
is it is ELECTR and then ARC 240. So
Electrarc.
Arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't use the full name, but yep.
It's fine.
It's cool.
It's great.
Yeah,
so
basically the video is like half an hour long, and he's basically explaining step by step how a power supply works, in particular a linear power supply. He's done one on a switch mode. I haven't, or have I seen that? I might have. Anyway, and then he's got a separate PCB literally for each component. So he's got like a transformer on one PCB. He's got the he's got the decoupling cap on one PCB. He's got the output filter on one PCB. It's like from a visual point of view, it's actually like he has the fuse on one PCB. Like it's just really cool. Like from a visual point of view. So he's gone to a lot of effort to visually set this out. So yeah, I'm very impressed. He has a switch on its own PCB, and then he joins them all together, and they're all color coded. He's got different solder mask color PCBs, so that just to help with the visual separation. Wow, it's just so much work has gone into it. Hats off. Seriously good. So, very impressed.
Yeah, I mean it's. I just like it because it's like when you're talking about like MOSFETs by themselves, like the MOSFET video is great too because it's like
I'll look.
He actually visualizes with like relays, which is great.
Oh,
and, actually like live showing relays and things like that. So it's really it's
everything you need to know about MOSFETs. Oh, right, yes, he's done a similar sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really? Oh, okay. Right.
It's good stuff. Kind of feels like it's he's like a former like TA or something.
He's got to be a former teacher or something, or a teacher or something like that.
It's just the ability to like explain stuff in that way, like really breaking it down is good.
Yeah, and really breaking it, because this is very much what I'd expect to see in a lab, like a electronics lab, like an actual teaching lab, right? Yeah, they they have separate modules and they have them all identified and labeled and everything, and you join them all together. Like you join the separate building block components together. That's a very common thing in any sort of like electronics lab teaching thing. So yeah, so I'd be surprised if he doesn't have that sort of background. That's where it comes from, or he just found, or that's how he learnt, or something like that, and he's just trying to duplicate it. So yeah, it's great. Anyway, very impressive. Good stuff. So yes, channel of the week. Electric Arc 240. Does that mean he's from a 240 volt country? Which is basically every country except the US, right?
And Canada and Mexico.
They're 112 there too, are they?
120 is what you meant to say, but yeah.
Sorry, 120. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a map somewhere, and then Japan's 240, but they have 50 and 60 hertz. And then like a bunch of South American countries also have like the weird ones are like, so there's a wiki map somewhere that we've definitely linked on the show before, but it's like, it's the ones where you have multiples in a country. It's just like, how the hell does that work?
Right, yeah. How does that work? Yeah, that's nuts.
Or like, man, it's not the grid, but have you ever seen the wiring in like some cities in India? Just like,
it's
like wild.
My God.
It's really wild.
That's the Wild West. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, so just as like a visual thing for people, it's just like, first off, just the number of them, because obviously there's a lot high population density, so like a lot of power needs, of course. But then, it's like city center. Like you look at like the power going to poles. I don't know. We'll have to find some videos or something. I'm sure there's like explainers.
Power, it's like Ethernet's like cable tied straight onto mains.
It's basically like you look at it and you're like, what am I looking at? And then it looks like if you asked a generative AI to show you power lines, it like draws that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. It's really
it's just incredible.
Hats off to the people that can actually maintain it if you can. I mean, like that's very impressive, but it doesn't look clean. Like you compare like that then to like someone who's got like buried, like you guys have buried lines, right? Where you don't see any wires. It's just like, oh man. I mean, granted you're in a suburb, but like that difference is stark,
How common is underground cabling in the US?
It is. It depends on the age of the development. Usually,
same here. Yeah. It started in the 80s, I think.
Yeah,
something like that. Don't quote me, but
yeah. So like my neighborhood's very old where I live now, and my old neighborhood. I don't know. Well, I think some of it's also like features as well. Like if you can't dig a whole bunch. Like if you can get deep enough,
right? If you've got like a water table or something.
Yeah, I think like freeze lines up north and stuff like that too. So like,
okay.
So where I used to live in Cleveland,
that's right.
I was like to my street, like I was probably set back like 50 to 75 meters off the street. Like it was pretty far to the street.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I had a cable. I had like my own pole in my front yard, and then the wire came all the way to my house. And it was long. It was long wire. Yeah, that sounds about right, actually. Yeah.
Was that underground from the pole to your...
No, that was above ground.
House?
Yeah, that was above ground.
Right.
But then sometimes it was mixed media. So then I would walk to the subdivision next to me, and they were all underground. So you would see basically where the incoming, you'd have like an incoming transformer, and they would just like go underground, and that would then feed that whole subdivision sort of thing.
Got it.
Yeah. So
very cool.
Yeah, except when the power goes out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know how they do it. Like how do you replace, like, because if water gets in there, it can rot away, and I don't know how they maintain that underground stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a very forgiving area.
Yeah. Anyway. Because the only thing I remember is like our current house that we're in is like our phone line cables were completely rotted away. This is when, I first in the early days of the blog when I was like uploading my videos via a 56K modem, right?
Wow.
From home. It was like,
wow.
Right. So heavy file compression and uploading.
Back in my day, it was easier to just mail your memes to people.
That's it.
Higher bandwidth.
Sneaking it.
Yeah.
Yep. And and like it was just so bad because all of our copper cables were just eaten away because you would actually I was actually down in the pit checking out the wiring and stuff, and it's just, oh my God, the pit just fills with water and all the cables just rotted and everything.
What's the pit? What is the pit?
The pit is the cable pit because all of our phone lines are underground. So they go in like, there'll be like a man-sized cable pit where you can actually either hop down into or you can actually reach down into, which has all the terminations, all the phone line terminations.
So you had access to this as a civilian? You would have? Really?
Yeah, you can just lift it up. It's just is just a concrete thing, and you put a metal bar in there and you lift it up and,
No, this is not making any sense to me at all, but
no?
I can't visualize it. Yeah. I'm imagining you like going down a manhole kind of thing.
No, I'll try and find a photo for you.
Okay, yeah. But you had access to your neighbor's telephone terminations?
Yeah. Yes, totally.
Sounds like some Snoop-worthy type things there, yeah? Not like it was encrypted communications. You could just like go and tap someone else's lines.
You could, yeah. Yes, I could certainly do that. Yep.
Huh. That
every street would have, yeah. I'm trying to find a, it's like a telecoms pit.
Telecom pit. But it wasn't like controlled area? I mean, like, it wasn't even locked?
No. Look,
Aussies aren't that nice. You're not Canadians. Come on, man. You're not that trustworthy.
There you go. I'm posting you an image of what a typical small one would look like. There you go. You have it. It just sits on the ground. It's just got a concrete thing on top. It weighs 30 kilos. It's actually marked.
I've seen stuff like
kilos.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have that as well here. I don't even know,
right.
To be honest. Huh.
Yeah. And
I don't usually
once
open
you
those
pull
things,
that up, you'll find all the terminations for every house on your street. Yeah. Very common.
Oh man. Google Chat just tried to give me some suggestions on after you sent me this photo.
Yeah.
And it's one of the suggested responses is I'm in.
What?
Like you were sending me a photo of that I should go break into this pit.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Phone telecoms. Yeah. There you go.
Interesting.
Very common. Anyway, they were just rotted.
Fill up with water.
Look, I've got a photo of one with cables in it. Here you go. This is what. Now we're
good
talking.
Stuff. Yeah.
Here we go. Boom. Check that out.
That looks horrendous.
Is like a
Yeah. Okay.
Typical kind of rat's nest.
Yeah.
Of wires.
Yeah, except in Australia, I'm sure it's spider's nest, right?
Right. No, something like that.
Yeah.
No, we call them rat's nests here. But usually, they won't have like the number of the house on it. It'll be some obscure other number, and you'd have to have a code book to look it up or something like that. So if you did want to tap into, your neighbour's one, tap them all.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I could do that. No. Okay. No, I won't mention it.
He was going to say at his office park. I bet he's going to say. Yeah.
Not saying a word.
Got it. Okay. No worries. I can say it for you. Dave has access to a room he probably is not supposed to have access to. That was my guess without actually having talked to him before this. That's what my guess is.
What would give you that idea?
Just how awkward you're sounding about this.
Right. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep. Next.
All right. What do you think about the bricking of the car thing? Did you see that article?
Bricking of the car thing?
Yeah, so Spotify
a car has been bricked.
No. This is although well, that's increasingly a problem too. Spotify had this pretty cool idea for like a device, basically like a crappy. Do you remember when Jay Carlson came back on the show and he talked about Linux devices? Did you ever listen to that episode when he was on?
I think it was just don't me recall. And Jay.
Okay, so Jay came back on. He's like, one of his students was actually building something very much like this, where it was basically a custom embedded Linux device. All it did was it like had Ethernet in, and he wrote some custom code for it, and he got it working with Spotify, right? So it was just basically a Spotify listener, and that's basically what Spotify built, and then sold them. And they were called Car Things. But they were
car things.
It was called the Car Thing. Yeah, that's what it was called. It's a very confusing name, but the idea is if you have like an old school car, like if you had just a Bluetooth connection,
it's a little LCD display with a dial. Has it got a dial on it?
That's right. Yeah, it's a dial.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And they bricked them all. They're bricking them all because at the end of the day, I was
going to say that's what I actually want here. That's what I actually want here.
Oh, you might be able to get one secondhand. If you watch this video, damn it, Jeff, the guy that does the channel, he didn't end up hacking his. This is a bit of a misnomer on the thing. He's basically implementing someone else's firmware that reprograms this thing and then uses a private service. And he was showcasing how to do it, as far as I understood it. And but now there's kind of like some open source tooling around this as well. They were trying to push Spotify to open source the whole thing, but it doesn't seem like that's likely. But you could still buy these on the open market, and people are using them like you're talking about, where it's just a desk device. Basically, it's just like a little smart, radio.
It won't be very smart after December 9th.
Right, exactly.
I'm on the website. Car Thing will stop operating after December 9th.
That's right, yeah. And they're intentionally breaking them all. It's not like they're like just shutting down the service. They're actually going to send an update, I think, that will kill them.
Why?
I think lawyers, Dave. I think that's the answer.
Yeah, but isn't this like I can use Spotify on my tablet or whatever? I can use it on my phone. See, at the moment here, the reason I want something like I want like just an easy to use Spotify interface that's always there. At the moment, I've got an old tablet which is hooked up to my amplifier here, which is hooked up to my speakers in the lab. And every time I want to go use it, I've got to bloody turn on the tablet, wait for it to bloody start up, and then I've got to log into the stupid thing, and then I've got to open the Spotify app, and then bloody hell, no, I just want it always there, and I can just tap it. And it goes.
So I think what's happening. This is just me conjecture. I'm not sure. Me not remembering the video either. I'm pretty sure there's a bounce service. Basically, like there's a hosted thing for the Car Things. They're basically authorizing as devices onto your account, and then that's basically.
I thought it would have. Yeah, I thought it would have just logged into your account. I thought it'd just be like a little Androidy, tablety, custom Androidy tablet thing with a Spotify app and a login.
No, because this is like I don't think this has enough juice to be a full. Right. It's like pretty underpowered, but I think it's talking to a relay service effectively, and the relay service is also going to be shut down, and that's why they're not supporting it anymore. So. Yeah,
that sucks.
It kind of sucks because it seems like it's finding kind of a new life. We'll see what happens. Might be worth getting one. Try it out yourself.
Yeah, but if it's just going to die, what's the point? Or
that's the thing. So there's new jailbroken firmware that points
at
a new service that you can, that sort of thing. So,
right. Okay, but then you're reliant upon that new service.
It's open source. It's fine. I mean, yes, you're right. But
yes, but somebody's got to run the server somewhere.
It's true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, at some point there's a human in the loop. Yeah,
exactly. There's a man in the middle.
Right? Yeah.
So it's I don't know.
Anyway, don't have to do it, Dave.
Like half of me says class action lawsuit, right? And the other half and the other freedom half of me goes no, because you signed up. What company? What right do you have? Even if you bought the thing, you own it. You don't have a right to force a company to maintain a service that you bought. They have the right to shut it down if they so choose. And it's your stupid fault for buying into that system that is reliant upon them.
You know better.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. So
that's a hot take.
No, that's the freedom side of me.
The free market, you're saying? Yeah,
yep,
I guess so.
Is a free market? No, you can't force companies to do shit. No,
you can, but you can.
Well, you should
splash their name with paint, and just say
yes.
They suck
absolutely. You can slag them off until the cows come.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Sure.
But that's how it should be dealt with. Like the company should lose.
I don't
all
think
their
anyone is
reputation
saying
and they
that
should go out of
Spotify
business.
has to do this. It's basically just people saying that they should open source the firmware so it's easier to repurpose it, sort of thing.
That would be nice. That would give them. Yeah, I don't know why they don't do that. Lawyers. Well,
lawyers. This is the answer. Yep.
Always
that's
the answer.
Same answer. Yep.
Bloody lawyers.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yep.
I don't know. My son came home, my eldest one came home from school the other day and he said, we're talking about careers and stuff like this. And I don't know who, but somebody was talking about, the best career is a lawyer because they earn the most. I'm going, bloody hell. No, just no. And then I had to explain with him that you're basically a serf, right? You've got you're so like under the pump as a lawyer. You've got to account for every 6 minutes of your time.
That's right.
Like you are like it's just like you have to book every 6 minutes of
synchronize
every
your
day.
Coffee break and your potty break.
Yes, it's
fit
just
in a 6 minute window.
It's just nightmare.
Yeah, no, it's I would not recommend it personally. I happen to be married to a lawyer who doesn't operate as an attorney, and
I have a brother-in-law who's an attorney.
I was going to say, your son should go talk to his uncle. It's a tough life, like there's a lot of stuff there. That's interesting. Yeah. What would you say? I don't know what I would tell a kid if not saying that Sagan asked this, but like if you were teaching that class today, Dave, and you'd say the number one job is, what would you say?
You can't predict it, so don't even try. Just build your skill set, build your talent stack. Right?
Number one job, according to Dave, is be a contrarian. That's what it is. Okay.
be good at a lot of stuff that allows you to combine skills together to make you more valuable than 99% of other humans. That's what my advice would be to young kids.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is anesthesiologist.
Obviously.
I don't know. I know. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You're saying that they put people to sleep for a living? That is correct, right. Dave. Very good. Yes. You must have put that together with all your skills.
Have multiple skills, a big talent stack, make it wide so you can combine.
You could say that. You could also say join a protected industry, like lawyers or doctors or like that is
electrician.
Those are different tricks. Electrician, right?
Everyone keeps asking me why I didn't wire my own switchboard. Because it doesn't matter what qualifications you got. It's a protected industry.
Yeah.
If I want to get my electrician's license, I have to go through my qualifications do not matter. I have to go through the entire apprenticeship from the start. No exemptions. None. Zero. I've got a friend who's in his 40s.
Why would you get an exemption?
Because I've already studied all of it. Right? I already have qualifications.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like you don't have to learn basic electrical theory or something like that. Oh, I see. You would, right? Yeah, there's zero. Zero. I guess I don't know what
an apprenticeship looks like in your country or just broadly. Right. There's not like a classroom component though. There's like a degree component. It's just experiential, right?
No. You have to do. I think it's a certificate in electrical or something. Don't quote me on that. It's some sort of certificate.
I don't even know what those things mean.
So it certainly is an educational
certificate. So there's no like
testing
out of the capabilities and stuff like that.
But
you can't take a test and be like, I already know blank, blank, blank. You just have to do it all.
That's how it used to be. One of the things I totally regret is not getting my electrician's license when you could just sit the exam. You could just sit the exam, and if you pass the exam, you got your license, and Bob's your uncle.
And then what?
Yep. And then what? And then it became a
open shop,
protected industry. It became a fully protected industry. You have to do a full apprenticeship, which means you've got to work full time under a licensed electrician for 4 years.
Coffee errand boy, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no way. There is literally no other. Well, there's one other sort of restricted class license, and I actually read it. I thought, maybe I can get a restricted class license, and it's like, no, you're literally not allowed to do anything. you're allowed to touch wires, but you're not allowed to join them or something. It's just something ridiculous like that, and it's totally pointless. It gives you no ability.
Sounds like
whatsoever.
the lawyers got to that one too.
Yeah, I think what that one was intended for was for those who could get a partial license to like pull cables and stuff like that.
That would
they
make
couldn't
sense.
hook them up.
Sure.
And yeah. So it gives you some partial thing. Yeah, but no, it's a fully protected industry. So I got a friend who's in his 40s and he decided to go back and become an electrician. Yeah, and he's got it. Yeah, so he's in his 40s. He's got a wife and kids, and here he is apprenticing to an electrician.
And how long does the apprenticeship take?
4 years, I think.
4 years.
Yeah,
wow.
4 years full time, and you can't do it part time. You've got to devote to it full time.
Is it like full pay or is it like degraded pay too?
Oh, I don't know
like
what a
fixed
apprentice
pay sort of thing
electrician
like
would
that.
get paid.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't have a good feeling. I don't even know here. Like, what? I guess I could look that up, but I think they get paid well here, but I don't know.
I get minimum. You might get minimum apprentice wage rates. Oh God, that's not good.
That's rough. Yeah. Okay.
Apprentice and trainee pay rates. Yeah, you might get sort of minimum.
Like fixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that also might be protecting you from the downside as well. Like someone who's like, well, I'm actually not going to pay you anything for the next 4 years. Right?
Oh, no, you can't do that here in Australia. We have very strict laws. A first-year apprentice is $631 a week. A fourth-year apprentice goes up to $930. So that would be minimum. Like if you work for, if you work for someone who really likes you and wants to pay you well, they can pay you more. I mean,
sure,
but that is the absolute minimum for a standard 38-hour work week. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And you got to do that. I think, yes, you got to do it for 4 years. 4 years of apprenticeship. Any other qualifications don't matter squat. It's totally protected industry.
We should make up some requirements for, I guess we're not going to be in charge of electronics generally. We need to come up with some kind of like subgroup of electronics design, and then create a industry group around it, and then create some walls around that garden. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You want to protect the electronics industry.
That's right. Like a honey badger.
No thanks. You're on your own.
Oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to start a union.
No, it's bullshit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
No.
That's how you make more money.
I've done a video on this. Here in Australia, you don't need any qualifications at all to work as an electronics engineer.
Yeah, it was like I remember that story we talked about on the Amp Hour. It was like in Victoria they were trying to do it for electronics, right?
Yes, they were. Electronics.
No, it was electronics. It was definitely electronics. It was about the term engineer. That's what it was.
The term engineer. They were trying to protect it. I don't know what happened to that. I haven't followed up. But there was that famous case in the US. What was his name? The Hans somebody in Oregon, was it? And he, they tried to fine him. Well, they did. They fined him because he wrote a letter to the traffic authority or something like that, telling them how the design of their lights is all wrong. And they went, that's engineering. You're not allowed to do that. You are not a licensed engineer in this state, even though he's a degree qualified engineer back in Norway or somewhere where he comes from, one of those Nordic countries. And they fined him. But he took him to federal court and he won. So, legend. So,
yeah.
Yep. But you're still, the term is still protected in the
Dave, we could be those people getting sued. We just have to come up with a new term.
All right. Okay. Yes. Yeah, we could do that.
How about smart-gineer?
Smart-gineer.
It's got to be really terrible, like realtor.
Or we can simply spell it wrong.
Oh,
because
there you go.
engineers can't spell, right? Yeah. So, but if we deliberately spell it wrong, it's like, I am in engineer.
How about like INJUR?
Yep.
Engineer. NEAR. Engineer.
Yep. We need to standardify this. We need to have
injure people
ratified.
that are near us because we're engineers.
And if we can get it ratified by the IEEE,
well,
man,
that's got to be easy.
Yeah. I think we can do this.
Wow. Yeah. I think all you need to do is add a rights reserved at the end of the word. And then that's basically 9/10 of the law right there.
Yep.
If only we knew some lawyers.
I will definitely go ahead with that if they try and ban the word engineer here in the state of New South Wales.
Yeah.
Screw them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, think about the merch.
The merch alone will make us rich beyond our wildest dreams.
Oh, man. Yep.
I love it.
What do you got coming up in the next few weeks in the electronics design side of things, Dave? Any big videos coming down the pipe?
If I can, I want to get back into some whiteboard tutorials. Well, there's some old, I didn't finish my AC series. I finished my DC tutorial series. I didn't finish my AC series. So, I want to finish that off. Getting back into it. I've been flooded with bloody soldering iron equipment at the moment. So I've got, I've got reviews I haven't done. And I don't know. I want to get back to some whiteboard tutorial stuff.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. Yeah. I don't do enough of that these days,
No time like the present, my friend. No time like the present. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got my Rev B boards back, and they mostly work. So those are the ones that
Rev B of what?
That relay board that I mentioned, I rotated the connector 180 degrees. I'm sure I talked about that on here.
Oh, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, 180 degrees. I did a live stream where I live streamed the whole thing, and it wasn't popular enough that anyone's like, hey, that's backwards. So it is now fixed.
No one spotted it.
Yeah. They get to see all the fixes in this fifth session of streaming, though. And now it plugs in and works well. So then I think I got to figure out what else to build on top of this thing. So this is effectively like a shield that plugs into a cellular board that I have been working on for a long time. And this one is just relays, something stupid.
Okay, cool.
Just like four relays that can do 120 volts and 20 amps. Sorry, 240 at 20 amps.
Right, so you're doing
20
what
amps.
Is this for mains switching or something?
Yes, this can do. Oh no, actually it starts 120 at. Oh, that's different than I thought it was. Anyways, yes, 120 at 20 amps.
Right.
Yeah, so main switching, but it also can do DC. You can do up to 28 volts. So.
Yep.
So I gotta figure out now I have like this form factor proven out. Like now that so that was the whole idea, is to prove out this form factor. It's like a PCB front panel effectively that plugs into a board that's below it. Now I have a mostly working PCB panel or PCB front panel, and then I put components on top of instead of like a display panel. It's like a kind of a place to load components onto. And so I got to figure out something else interesting to do there. And this was was inspired by a smart locker I'd built way back in the day, just needing to switch 12 volts into the lights and the solenoid and stuff like that. And now I'm not sure what's next. Maybe high-speed ADC. Maybe if you have ideas, let me know. If you have needs, Dave, I can build you something.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will have another one soon. Yeah.
Catch you next time.
Talk to you later.